Say hi to James. Made me an entrepreneur. Teaching me day after day after day till it all was a blur. Now he on tour, he can drop in your city tonight. Neverland Zing coming in for the fight. Making that powerful statement, saying that you meant for greatness. Better be ready for absolute.
Man, Absolute Nation, it's good to see you again. Guys, listen, rarely do I ever just go live at this time. In fact, this is impromptu with purpose. I've been able to be in environments where I get to talk with people who come by reputation. The Attorney General himself calls me up and said, I have a guy that I believe in. You're talking about being vetted. Whenever the Attorney General, the top cop in the state, reaches out to you to tell you that this person is good, you already have the endorsement. But he doesn't just need that. His name and his reputation speak for itself. For those of you who are looking to be in real estate, to take it from the idea of it being something you do to something that takes care of you, this is where you need to be. It's about atmosphere. It's about being in an environment where you can learn. So many people have a desire to be next level. How do I become a top performer? Well, you become a top performer by being in proximity of people that can put you in a room where your skill set gets enhanced and you develop skill sets that you didn't know you needed, such as networking, the power of relationships. Well, here's one relationship you got to know about. I'm introducing you to John G. Stevens. Write that name down. You'll know that name for the rest of your life, I promise you. And you'll thank me for the fact that I took the time to introduce you. John, welcome to Absolute Motivation.
Oh, thank you so much, James. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And it was awesome. Sean, the Attorney General, calls me up. He's like, listen, you need to meet my buddy James. He is amazing. He's absolute fire. And ever since I've met him, I mean, whenever he called, you pick up his phone, right? You pick up that call because he doesn't call just to say howdy. He calls because there's a reason, because there's a driving force that he needs something to be done either for you as a community or to help somebody else out. Rarely has he ever picked up and says, hey, John, I need help. In fact, I don't think you've ever.
No,
yeah.
So. I need you in my life, though, John, because one, you have an amazing story. Let me give you backdrop because it's not enough. I don't want to just talk about what he does. I want to talk about who he is. John, if you don't mind, tell people a little about it. Guys, you see me, people jumping in, trying to write me. I'm telling you, guys, get online, get live, send a message out to someone, say, hey, listen, you need to be a part of this. John, if you would, tell a little bit about your background. How did you grow up?
No, thank you. I appreciate that. So had the wonderful opportunity to actually grow up in Germany during the Cold War. My dad worked for the government and we were over there, went to German schools and was able to experience really what it was like to be an American in Cold War Europe. And absolutely loved it, loved my friends, my family and everything that the experience there. We can talk about all that kind of stuff later. But then came back here and met my sweetheart in college, and I've been living here in Utah ever since.
Wow.
But as far as my background, so past president of the National Association of Mortgage Brokers, and that's one really critical component to the industry is as president went out and met with members of Congress, met with staffers, met with the head of Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, and was very instrumental in helping them through the National Association of Mortgage Brokers, but really always been a very passionate supporter of the industry, let alone someone who volunteers and really, as they always joke about, a worker bee, right? Out there and making sure that we are constantly evolving to meet the demands of the housing industry. Obviously, recently we've gone through a couple of years of a really little bit more difficult time. But the awesome part is those people who are doing this as their career, they've risen to the top, James. And that's what's so cool is these individuals, they're going to events like you talked about. They're watching things like Absolute Motivation, and they're getting in there and they're becoming better incrementally every single day. And that's one thing as well, part of my background. I own weekly real estate news. If you go to like Instagram, it's at WRE News. You can go on there and see the news that comes out every single day. We have our news that comes out every morning and every afternoon. And part of that, we have over 2 million subscribers to our news. Wow. And we love it. We absolutely love being able to bring that out.
Now, I wanted you to hear, notice how he mentions numbers like 2 million and lets it go, right? Like I said, a small thing. He's accomplished and done so much. But the reason why I wanted you to know about his background is to know that most people think that you get in position out of privilege. It's not true. It's through hard work, dedication, and application. And so the idea of becoming more so that you can serve more is his mantra or mindset. Going out and lobbying, fighting on behalf of other people. He could easily have said, listen, I've already made it, but not about him. It's about the impact he wants to make. In fact, that's why we're going to be talking about going state after state, impacting you guys in an amazing way. For those of you who live in Phoenix, I got to tell you, you have something to look forward to that is going to blow your mind. It's a gathering of experts and motivation and positivity. We're going to be there on April the 17th of 2025. You can mark your calendars and put it down. In fact, Master Chief, if you would tell them, if you would tell them the website, Master Chief will put it on the screen for people to go to.
Absolutely. So if you go, our regular website is wrenews.com, and our conferences, we made a little change because James knows what he's doing. He's like, hey, we really need to really hone this in. So wrelive.com, and there's a tab there for the Phoenix show. And so, Master Chief, if you could go in there and actually put in the web address that already includes the Phoenix tab, so that way they can just click there and go straight to it. But you can see, and we're actually pretty excited for all of you watching. James, you're going to be one of our speakers, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. When I was thinking about growing up, I lived in my grandmother's home, and she was instrumental in my development, my life, and who I was becoming. But it was a home that we rented. The idea of one day having my home, see, is different than when you're just staying in a place. When you're renting, it doesn't have the same power, it doesn't have the same influence. Something broke, you think, I need to call someone to come fix it because it belongs to them. But when it becomes yours, it's personal, it's an investment. It's something of legacy. It's where memories are made. It's not someone else's house. There's something I'm protecting because it's mine. Blood, sweat, and tears went into it. What John does is it not only enables people to help you get to your dreams. There it is, guys. You can just use the QR so that you can go. But I'm telling you that you need to find people that will help you achieve your dreams. If you're watching, realtors need you and you need them. I'm trying to match up this group. We have such a growing group of people who are entrepreneurs, wealthy. You guys are health conscious, focused on greatness, and we have such a pool of realtors. You guys need to come. John, when they come to one of your events, what can they expect?
So we really like to make sure that individuals who come to our events, it's more high class, right? We're not talking buffets. We're not talking you show up and there's food all over the floor. We're actually going to have it at the Arizona Grand. It's a spa and resort, absolutely fantastic. When they arrive, you'll actually get there and we'll have breakfast out for everybody. But the night before, if you buy your ticket, we're actually going to have a meet and greet with all of our sponsors, individuals like James. These are people you want to get in front of and talk with and be a part of and really hear and learn from them. Then the next day, we have our breakfast, and then we have dual classes all day long. Individuals like James, and I don't want to say more names because thanks you, James.
Listen, we have so many things coming. We're going to begin to leak things to you as you stay connected and tuned. You'll see us coming on, talking about it, updating, making videos about it. You'll follow along, Absolute Motivation Official. You guys know at home we're going to talk about this, and I've never brought up something that wasn't big. I just did an event we had called Warrior Rising, and we had Nate Bargatze there. On December the 12th, I've got Martha Stewart. Now, if I'm bringing those type of names to that, and I never brought them here, you can imagine how powerful this will be. But there will be people, there's knowledge, there's access. If all we had was John himself, you'd be getting value add. The only issue is you didn't know that this was a resource that you needed in your life till now. I'm declaring and saying it out loud. This isn't just a man, he's a leader of a movement, a leader of improving lives, providing you with excellence, raising the bar, so that we can bring everyone to a higher standard. John, what's the goals that you have at these events? And so that when they leave, what can they expect?
Really, our overarching goal is to make sure that every single person who attends any of our events throughout the course of the year, that these individuals, they come, they leave better, they leave more motivated, they leave better capable of being able to be more engaged with their clientele. to be able to understand how to garner more clientele, how to build relationships to where, I mean, we've all had this happen before, right? No matter what industry you're in, someone who you're really close with says, hey, I went out, I bought a home, or I went out and I bought a car, or I went out and did X, Y, or Z. And you're like, well, wait a second. That's what I do for a living. You come to these events, you're going to understand it's not just a customer, it's a relationship. How do you better engage with them to where now when they have questions, when they have ideas, they want to be able to make sure that they come to you first and foremost. One thing, James, I tell everybody as we go around and we talk, real estate agents, they're the original influencers. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays you have individuals, they get up, they get their camera, right? They do their whatever latest dance is, and they get all of these views.
Right.
Well, that's what real estate agents are. When you bought your home, James, and you're like, okay, I need to set up my internet, I need to set up my phone or whatever it may be.
They're the resource for everything. Is this a
Exactly.
good school? I trust.
Yeah.
A realtor becomes a source. There was a time when people would drive before GPS. We stop at a gas station. How far to get to here? And we turn to those guys. That's gone. But what hasn't changed, one thing that time hasn't changed, is that realtors are a source. They're not just a resource. Master Chief, I saw you had the commercial. I want you guys to be able to see this so you know what to come. If you can play it, go ahead and play it. I want you guys to see a preview of what's to come. And then we'll come right back and I'm going to take it from there. Chief, go ahead and play the commercial. See what I mean? Listen, when I tell you there's a preview, I want you to be the best you. We left off, we were talking about what realtors are, that they're a resource. When I'm game looking for a home, I was like, man, this is in a good area. It's a trust thing too. And because I didn't know the area, I had to rely on them. And we go like, man, people ask you, how did you know? I said, I got a really good realtor. We put a lot of confidence in you. It goes back to what he said. It has to be about relationship building. If you don't learn the skill set and how to build the relationships and have the credibility and experts that he's providing, you don't sharpen the tools. What you did 25 years ago won't work the same now. People move differently, but that doesn't mean you have to be removed from the growth. You can plug in and learn by having your time in Phoenix. April 17th is just the beginning. After that, you'll see us in Utah. You'll see us in different places. But right now, the focus is making sure if you're a realtor, you want to be able to be there. You want to be able to be involved. I'm going to tell you, you need to get to, you need to make sure you guys get to Phoenix. The location is beautiful. The information is useful. Anything you want to project about or tell about lives or maybe a realtor story of how their lives were changed as they've gone and how they've grown. You ever get emails or messages back from people who say, man, I got this from it? What kind of feedback have you gotten from previous events?
You know, that feedback, I take it very personal. I read every single review. I read every single email that comes in. I have my staff make sure to share it with me, because at the end of the day, both the good and the bad, we need to make sure that we address both, right? And to share with you a few of the very, very positives. We had one lady who actually went and listened to Sean in Miami.
Okay.
And she said she was in tears listening to his story. She said she didn't understand what it was she was coming into. And when she left, she was in tears, excited because she felt better, more excited, and more engaged to do even more with her life. And when I looked up who she is, she's amazing. She has done so many things. So to have someone at that level
So
with
you ignited something in me. Challenge me.
exactly.
It made me better. Wow.
And the world would look at her and say, "You're already there." And she's saying, "No, because of this event, I am now capable mentally to do more than I was before." We have individuals who have written us and said this, I went to this event just knowing it was a real estate agent event and was expecting something that's normal in the industry. And for those of you who are real estate agents, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're good, right? But I am a firm believer that good is the enemy of great.
Yeah.
We want to bring greatness to you. And that is another comment that somebody said is, I came here not knowing what it was, and I left realizing this was the greatest event I have been to, focused on not only making me a better real estate agent, but making me a better person. We had another person come up to us, and we haven't talked about this, our sponsors. These are individuals who are going to be there in an exhibit hall, and they're going to help you with your marketing. They're going to help you with your technology. We actually have a good friend of ours who's helping push the health track to make sure that you leave there in many aspects of your life with the ability to do better. And we haven't even talked about the plated lunch. Once again, we go high end here. We want to make sure that everybody leaves here just excited. And then after the long day, we do have a happy hour there at the Arizona Grand. If you've been there before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't been there, look at the pictures, look at the video. We're going to continue sharing with you, because this is not just a place to go and learn. The reason we hold it at places like the Arizona Grand is because it's a place to also relax. We have a discounted golf. If you want to golf the day before, the day after, we've been able to facilitate that with them. It also includes, this is a kind of a funny thing, but to me it's important. As a business professional, if I'm at these events, I miss out on a lot, because where are we at? We're in these big structures with a lot of steel, and your cell phone doesn't quite work, right? Well, we've also procured, as part of being the ticket, you receive your free Wi-Fi during your stay, which we all know these resorts and hotels, they like to charge an arm and a leg for people to be able to communicate. And so, like I said, we want to make sure when you leave there, you are able to, just like the people who've written us, they're able to do more in their lives. They're able to do spend less in their marketing. One thing, I'll share this with you. So I'm a Rotarian. And for those of you who know who Rotary is, you know what they're about. And I'm actually a Paul Harris Fellow. I received that award many years ago, and it's something I hold very near and dear to my heart. But one of the things on being a Rotarian is service above self. And that is one thing that I believe in. I know you know that James believes in that as well. So if we do service above self, if we focus on helping others and making them better, that's the focus of these conferences. Is we want those who come, we want them to become better. Because if you're better, then our industry is better. If our industry is better, then our economy does better. It's our way of making sure that what I consider to be one of the best places for the rising professional is to go into the real estate industry, right? The people they meet, the lives that they help. I mean, just hearing James share with his life, how it changed. You look at the home and home ownership. There's a reason it's called the American dream.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that. I love that. And so if we can help you by being able to do more that way, then I've accomplished my goal. James has accomplished his goal, because once again, the name of your company, Absolute Motivation. That's what we want at these conferences.
Guys, I was thinking of this, about our goal to be better than we were. I want to share part of my story that I think will be relevant and maybe connect with you. Growing up, there was so many dreams that I thought maybe were impossible, because, of course, as some of you have been following know, I was born with a disability. The disability seemed to disqualify me from being able to do what everyone else has done in life. I took my first steps, not at 9 months, not a year, but I was 11. At 11, I took that first step, and it seemed like I would be behind the 8 ball. I'm not going to ever catch up. I'll never be able to put it in the pocket or do any of the things that life that everyone else has. But I had someone who believed in me, who gave me a skill set and training. For me, it happened to be my grandmother, teachers, and different people. You always need someone who can mentor you, someone who can take whatever disability you feel like you have. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to push myself. I don't know how to get there. Or I've got something else going on with me. No matter what you feel like is your limitation, there is someone that can get you out of that imposter syndrome, fear, and all those things, and push you to greatness. When you get a mentor, it's different than someone who is just giving you mentions. When someone mentions you should do that, I mention you should do that. I mentions doesn't do anything for you as far as dimension, but mentors do. When you come to the events, you will find that there is an opportunity for you to grow, develop, and be pushed to be great. You have people that are giving you the encouragement you can be healthy because health becomes wealth. Doesn't matter how much money you have, if you don't take care of your health, you won't be here. And you have too much talent, too many gifts, too much has been given, installed inside of you for you to let that go to waste. You want to make sure that you're a part of places and groups that will grow you. It's not about who you are today, it's about who you can be. The gap between the two could just be as simple as being there to be ignited with inspiration or being given guidance when you need it. What John has created is an environment. It's an environment where you go and there's people who are like-minded. It's a clean cut, it's high end, it's 5-star. In fact, I've got a giveaway that's just for those who will be in Phoenix. I got Tom Chambers to sign an autograph jersey. So I'm going to give that away to the very first realtor who signs up at least himself. And how about this? The first 2 tickets sold. If you get somebody to come with you, I'll do the jersey for the first person from Phoenix that signs up. It's $5.99. The first person who signs up, I'll do that. The second thing I'll do is for the realtor that comes and signs up, you just write, I'm talking about through the site. I'll go ahead and do something special for you. I will bring you on our Instagram and promote what you're doing. Guys, I really want the world to know about you. And I'll use the leverage of our platform to expand you because I want you to grow. And this man has created the avenue to do so. You may be thinking there are tons of people that offer stuff, but not like this. Not where it's our passion and our calling. We're combining the inspiration and education so that you can revitalize not only career, but push yourself to the next level. And if you've been at the top of the mountain and said, well, I've already had success, I'm already successful. Well, being there and growing from there. There's something you said when we started. You said, good is the enemy of great. If you're good enough, that doesn't mean you're where you can be. You haven't peaked. Let's get you to the maximum potential and let's do it together. John, anything else you want to shade and challenge people, encourage people, whatever you want to say, I want to give you the opportunity to.
I appreciate that, James. At the end of the day, it's all about becoming better. If you don't attend the conference, I understand. But remember, there are many good things out there that will take your time. They're not bad. These are things that, once again, you can go out, and I've seen a lot of good friends of mine who have gone bankrupt because they focused on doing all these good things. If they had simply focused on the great, then that great allows them to do more good. And it's really hard for a lot of people to understand that by only focusing on the great, you're able to do more good because now you're able to get out there. And like you mentioned, you think you've peaked. And if you think you are, then really think about that service above self. Because as you reach down to lift other people up to help you, and maybe that is attending the conference and saying, hey, you know what? I am at the pinnacle in my brokerage. Well, let me help other people get to where I'm at. There's enough pieces of pie for everybody out there to share. There really is. We need to shift this mindset of, I need to keep what I have closed up. No, you need to open it up and allow others to see what you've done. And that's really, that's what these speakers are going to be. They're going to share with you exactly how they got to where they are today and what you need to do. And it's really funny. I say it myself oftentimes when I go and I speak, I say, listen, 99% of the people listening, they're going to say, this is so cool, but they won't do anything about it. It's that couple percent, that 1%, 2%, 3% who actually listen and say, I'm going to emulate that. I'm actually going to reach out to James afterwards or John afterwards or our other speakers that we'll be announcing later, because they'll mentor you, right? They'll get in there and allow you to hear from them and share their successes. And by the way, yeah, I would do that if I were you. I would help. And that's part of that meet and greet the day before and really the happy hour afterwards, where you can sit there and then talk with the speakers and say, okay, I really, really enjoyed how you shared about this, James. But here's my life, right? Here's what I'm doing. I don't see how that ties in. I don't see how that correlates. Well, at the end of the day, we all have a connection somewhere, right? You build that relationship of trust with these individuals. And that's one thing I absolutely love about these conferences. It's the networking. In fact, sometimes I joke, as you go back to a conference, it's almost like a high school reunion. Hey, how was it? How was your year, right? And now more than ever, we need to revitalize our mindset. We need to re-engage. We need to remarket. And that's why the theme is revitalize, because we've been through some hard times, but adversity builds endurance. Adversity creates success. No one who's successful was there because they didn't go through adversity, right?
Wow.
And that's what we're doing here is we're getting together, going to network. We're going to have a great time. Now, one thing, James, as well, and I do hesitate to say this, but it needs to be said, we only have 1,500 tickets. And so we want to make sure that everybody understands.
Watch this. I want to give this to you. When the idea, people think 1,500, man, there's plenty of there. I promise you, they go fast.
Mm-hmm.
Being on the outside and being left out is the last thing you want. I was even thinking of, as you were saying that, get your ticket now because you need to get in. I want to guarantee you there because I want you to grow. I want you to be, there's someone watching who has been the second best in their brokerage. There's someone, I need you to take over number one, and the gap between you and them is just being ignited. I want you to be so passionate about who you want to be and how fast you want to get there that there is nothing that stops your dominance from coming into fruition. And I want you to be like, test me. It brings out the best in me. Push me, provoke me, hold me accountable. 2025 should be the most dominant year of your career because of what you've gotten instilled in you. When you get there, be revitalized, allow yourself to grow and connect, build relationships, but the seating is limited. This is for the person who really wants to be something. And who much is given, much is required. And you know, when you wake up in the morning, there's more required of you. There's a whole team that relies on you. People who are stems from your roots. What you began years ago, there are other people who work for you that are connected. Their bonuses come off of your productivity, and you need them fully engaged. I would challenge you, bring your team. Sit together and grow, and that way you hold each other accountable. Take notes. What are you getting? Where are you going? How are you? Get this. Improve the entire unit so that you can do more. And I can tell you this, the championships aren't won in the NBA in the time of the finals. They're won in January when the team gels. It's when we decide to live bigger than myself. I will play my role and I'll be ignited. I won't just clock in and do what you expect of me. I'll go above and beyond. This pushes people to go above where they were and beyond what you expected. You just got to get in before it's too late. You miss that. You miss your opportunity. I want you there. You have anything else you want to say to that?
I don't think anybody can follow that. I agree with you 100%. I look forward to seeing all of you there. This is exciting. This is fun. And worst case scenario, you get to hang out with James. I mean, come on. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you, James, for bringing us on today.
No,
I look forward to
listen, I felt this was important enough because in the final moments that I have there, I want to say this, guys, with you. I interrupted your day so that I could have a say. And this is what I'm saying to you. For every realtor and every friend you have that is a realtor that is near Phoenix, tell them to get in because I want to see you there. I want to see you win. I would not have interrupted this. I would have not have taken this time. I would not have made this a special video if it wasn't something I knew that was going to be exciting and impactful. I don't do things that are important. I do things that are essential. It's essential that you help me help other people get their dreams. They want their homes. They want to be able to have a place for their families. And you realtors, you make dreams come true. We have to get vulnerable in front of you. Here's my credit. Here's where I messed up. Can you help me? Here's what I've earned. This is what I've got to deal with. This is my hope. This is where maybe I start with, but you can stay with me my whole family's move, growth, and development. We need you in the environment for your growth so that you can grow with all those that are around you. This has been an honor to spend time with you, John. Thank you for coming on. You guys, get used to them. And for those of you that can't get enough, you know to shoot over to our Instagram because we'll be there. The one, the only John G. Stevens. We're going to spend some time with him, and we're just going to get you guys to come in. And after we're done, someone will feel like they won. God bless you all till we meet again. We're out, Master Chief.